Magic is something that we all are familiar with. We see it in movies and literary works. They're often synonymous with dark events like satanic ritual or ghost or demons, but they're also used for morally acceptable applications like in Harry Potter or fantasy movies with mystical creatures or any form of healing and good intentions. Magic is an application of beliefs, rituals, or actions that one believes can manipulate forces or supernatural or natural beings. Magic is believed to be separate from both science and religion because in science, magic cannot do what it promises to do, and with religion, it is seen as morally wrong. The difference between magic and religion is that magic seeks to manipulate supernatural forces, while religion seems to supplicate supernatural forces. The origin of magic is still debated. James Frazer believed that magic comes first before religion. When people in the old times realized that magic didn't always perform successfully, they concluded that there were forces outside of magic that are more powerful, therefore it must be supplicated, hence religion. However, Leonard Hobhouse believed that magic and religion were not distinguishable from one another and confused together by primitive men. It is only distinguishable to the mind of a civilized man. According to anthropologists, there are three types of magic: productive, protective, and destructive. Productive magic is used to get successful outcomes from human behavior or nature, like great weather or good harvest. Protective magic is used to protect an individual or community from evil forces like spirits or others. Destructive magic is used to harm others, usually caused by jealousy. Other forms of magic like black, gray, and white magic are kind of similar to the productive, protective, and destructive magic, with black being evil, white being benevolent, and gray being somewhat neutral, for it is not used for specific benevolent reason or malicious practices. The use of magic in the ancient Rome or Greece wasn't exactly illegal, unless you're harming other people using magic. In Rome, you can use your magic to steal your neighbor's crops, and it was punishable by death, and at the time, crucifixion was the way to go. It was written in the 12 original laws of Rome. The Greeks and Romans also had a book called Greek Magical Papyri, filled with spells and incantations. Some of the spells can be seen in the museum today. During the medieval and early modern Europe, the use of magic was seen to be connected with the devils, and the religious groups see magic as an act against God. There were even books on how to identify and punish witches called the Malleus Maleficarum, Hammer of Witches, written by a German priest in 1486. Witches are also believed to have amazing powers, where they use broomsticks to fly and hunt children to cook and eat. They also think witches can turn humans to animals. All these beliefs eventually made their way into folklore, and then you get stories like Hansel and Gretel. It is estimated that around 35,000 to 100,000 people were executed. While black magic was persecuted, white magic persevered in Europe. Medical advancement, beliefs, and philosophy of the wealthy changed the beliefs in witches, leading to the decline of trials in the late 17th century. Change made initially by early skeptics, then adopted by the rich and powerful for self-protection, disbelief, and religion, brought about the decline of absurd convictions of children, false accusations, murder of the innocents, and accusations for personal gain. Judges then realized they were condemning innocence and made essential legal reforms. The rise of science during the Renaissance then distinguished astronomy from astrology and alchemy from chemistry. Now, magic is seen as pseudoscience, which the Savage postulated a direct cause-effect relationship between magical act and desired outcomes, as what Edward Tylor called it. However, the use of magic still persists to this day, especially black magic, in countries with majority of the people and the government believe in magic and the supernatural, like India, Africa, or Papua New Guinea. In India, for instance, many people claimed they are being attacked by black magic that are made by no other than their own families and close friends. Some of the symptoms of black magic are bad dreams, financial problems, bad health, and ruined relationships. The percentage of black magic is high in rural area, maybe because of the lack of education. But some experts said educated people have more positive energy where they don't hold grudges, while uneducated people tend to hold grudges or jealousy that can result in bad energies. In late 1970s, a man with a limp named Sheldon Ritter, who had a knee problem, had consulted lots of specialists, but no improvement. Then he went to Dakar, Senegal, after hearing about marabouts and guériseurs, the traditional healers. The marabouts took a look at his knee and said he got a bad blood, and took a knife and removed the blood. The next day, he walked with no limp, though he admitted some occasional twinge, but he insisted he felt 100% better. 1971, Ingo Blondel, an Icelandic living in Ghana, summoned to a ritual, but had a bad case of dysentery. The healers performed a ritual with incantations and slaughtered a goat. And then later, he felt better, and he joined the ceremonies. The traditional healers, though, knew that some Western medicine could accomplish things beyond their skills, but they still practiced the old ways because that's how things must be done. Even so, the beliefs of magic can be used to exploit people of their beliefs to get money from them, especially people with little educational background. So, is black magic real? Why are there cases where people die from black magic? S.M. Lambert from the Western Pacific Health Service of the Rockefeller Foundation said he'd seen some evidence of death from fear. In North Queensland, there were many natives converts, but there were non-converts outskirts of the mission, and one of them, a Nebo, a witch doctor. Rob, a convert chief helper, was in distress, and Lambert examined him, but no sign of sickness, no fever or pain, but he looked very weak and ill. Then he learned that Nebo pointed a bone at Rob and told Rob he will die. Dr. Lambert went for Nebo and threatened him, saying he would cut off the supply of food if anything happened to Rob. Then Nebo went to see Rob with Dr. Lambert and told him it was all a joke, that not even a bone had been pointed at him. Then almost instantaneously, Rob was back at work, looked happy and full of his strength again. A persistent and profound emotional strain can cause a drop of blood pressure, and it could result in death. The lack of appetite that is common with people that are claimed to be cursed from black magic, along with harmful emotional effects, can induce fatal outcomes. In other words, there is a possibility that these people die from shock or prolonged profound emotions. During the Spanish War, many patients with malignant anxiety in a psychiatric facility experienced exhaustion from lack of food, fatigue, or sleeplessness. Lack of food and water caused the urine to be really concentrated and acidic. In some cases of death, brain hemorrhage were reported. So, is magic real or is it not real? James Randi had offered a lot of money to wizards and witches out there, but no one can produce a desired result in his set-up parameters agreed by Randi and the applicants. So, it may or may not be real. Who knows? Maybe only a few selected individuals are able to perform magic, and maybe even with these gifted individuals, the magic isn't always successful since you're dealing with supernatural beings. So it is hard to distinguish between chances or real magic. Just like any other experiments in science, the researchers at the Large Hadron Collider are excited about discovering physics beyond the standard model. But the anomalies were so rare that when scientists gather more data, the anomalies disappear again. We may never know about the existence of magic until more researchers put in some effort in studying the existence of magic instead of trying to disprove it.